bring it up here? Oh.
Don't forget to get some linguine with clam sauce. Linguine with clam sauce.
Cut yourself on this doing this or everybody ready? You ready yet, Mark?
Do you have the agendas?
Yeah, right here.
That's what we got last night.
No, November's last. Marjorie probably didn't give you. Did you? You didn't give Vince a copy of the October?
That's awesome.
You can get them later, yeah.
I read through them.
There you go. Okay. I never got November. You got it November?
Kick your ass.
You had that last night?
I got it last night.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's bring it to the party.
Is everybody ready?
Ready?
Yes. Is everybody ready?
Yep, let's go.
Call the meeting to order. Would you please stand for the salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, give the
Deputy
roll call.
Supervisor Case Smith,
Present.
Councilman Lance Knapp,
Here.
Rose Anthony. Here. Vincent Greco,
Here.
Anthony Cavon.
Here.
Budget Officer Robert Lyman,
Here.
Superintendent of Highways, here.
He's there.
Does Jim stand?
Huh?
Jim doesn't stand.
No.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to dispense with a reading of the previous minutes for October and November?
I'll make a motion to dispense with the readings for October and November.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Any
Aye.
discussion first? All in favor?
Aye.
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 So carried. Okay, communications. Under communications and petitions, from Fulton New Channels to Supervisor Best, the attached notification is being sent to all our New Channels customers, apprising them of a rate adjustment effective January 1, 1995. And I don't think it's necessary to read the rest of the letter. Everyone who has New Channels has been notified in the mail. If anyone cares to look at the rates, they can come up and look at it.
3 cents. That's where mine went up, 3 cents.
The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Dear interested citizen, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, in consultation with the New York State Department of Health, is inviting public comment on the recently completed proposed remedial action plan for the Miller Container Division site. A public meeting will be held on December 7th, 1994, in Fulton City Hall, located on First Street in Fulton. At this meeting, the results of the site investigations and feasibility study will be presented. The proposed site remedy will be presented, and the rationale for its selection will be explained. The public will then be given an opportunity to ask questions about the site and comment on the proposed remedial action plan. The New York State DEC will accept written comment through December 30th, 1994. After gathering public comments on the proposed plan, the DEC will prepare a record of decision formally announcing the remedial plan for the site. All comments received at the meeting and in writing during the comment period will be addressed in the responsiveness summary section of the record of decision. So this is still open through December 30th if anyone has any comments. From the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, the Federal Small Business Administration has funding available in 1995 for local governments to plant trees utilizing small businesses. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Division of Lands and Forests, is the lead agency for this program. You should contact your local regional forester listed on the back for an application packet. The completed application must be sent to the regional forester by January 10th, 1995. This is a program, however, that the town is really not interested in it. We haven't any input in that. From Division of Equalization and Assessment to all city mayors and town supervisors. All tentative 1994 state equalization rates have been established in your county. Earlier, you were sent a report with a notification of the tentative 1994 rate established for your municipality, showing the percentage change in full value for your municipality and for the other municipalities in your county for which a tentative rate had been established at that time. The enclosed report now contains tentative 1994 state equalization rate data for all the municipalities in your county. In addition, it shows a change in the share of the total county full value for each municipality. As described in the footnotes on this report, the percent change in share of total county full value indicates whether a municipality may be apportioned a larger share of the county tax levy when these state equalization rates are used in the tax apportionment. If anyone is interested in these rates, you can come up and look at it. From the town of Oswego, we have a correspondence. This is a resolution by Jack Tyree Jr., seconded by William White. Whereas the sales tax is unfair to middle and low-income families, and whereas county officials are conducting closed discussions with city representatives while ignoring elected officials in the towns, be it resolved that the Town of Oswego Town Council stands in opposition to the imposition of a county-wide sales tax. Be it further resolved that the town clerk send copies of this resolution to all county legislators, town supervisors, and town board members serving residents of Oswego County. And there were 5 A's on the board: Patricia Jung, William Noun, Jack Tyree Jr., Marie Shadd, and William White. The motion was carried and it was adopted 11/7/94. From the New York State Assembly, dear municipal official, I am pleased to present you with a copy of the New York State Assembly Oversight Analysis and Investigation Committee staff report on the cable television industry in New York State. I hope you find the report informative and helpful. The cable picture is based on a comprehensive examination of the regulations and performance of the cable television industry in New York State. The report includes discussions about the industry, the New York State Commission on Cable Television, and municipal franchises, as well as future state telecommunication policies. Findings and recommendations are contained within each section and highlighted in the report's executive summary. And we have this report in the supervisor's office, and if anyone is interested in reading it or looking at it, they're welcome to come in and see it. To the Granby Town Board, please accept my immediate resignation from the Planning Board. Sincerely, Elizabeth W. Green. Granby Town Clerk Marjorie Fuller. This is to inform you of my intent to resign from my position as Deputy Town Clerk effective December 1, 1994. I have enjoyed serving the town in this position since my appointment 10 months ago. However, for medical reasons, I am unable to continue working at this time. It has been an honor to work with you, serving our fellow town residents, and I hope that someday in the future, I may have the opportunity again. Thank you. Sincerely, Richard F. Schultz. Jim Best and Town Board members. With the recent downsizing of Niagara Mohawk, my professional duties and responsibilities within the company have been redefined to the extent that I can no longer fulfill my obligations to the town of Granby as a town councilman. It is with much regret that I must ask you to accept my resignation effective January 1, 1995. Being a native of Granby, I hold a high sense of loyalty and responsibility to the town and its citizens, particularly in areas of governmental functions and actions in which I took part during my 5 years in office. A major concern I have upon leaving office is that one of my long-term goals when I was originally elected in 1989 was to increase the efficiency of various town administrative functions by the use of computers and programs specifically designed to meet the ever-increasing need to organize, distribute, and communicate town data and information. I believe that the major portion of the goal has been accomplished, as I have installed systems and programs that are now being used to streamline many administrative functions. I also realize that my vacancy could create a void in terms of the technical support needed to maintain and continue this upgrade. It is for this reason that I will offer my continued service to the town in the form of technical aid and support for the computer systems and data programs which I have developed, and for future needs that I know will arise. I offer this service at no cost to the town, and for as long as the town deems necessary. In closing, I wish to express that I have held this office keeping what I believe to be the town's best interest at heart, and that I will always consider it an honor to have served the town of Granby. Sincerely, Lance Knapp. Lance, we're all going to miss you.
All right.
Who am I gonna disagree with?
Who am I going to slap on the knee?
From the State Department of Transportation to Mr. James Best, Supervisor. Dear Sir, regarding Route 3 at County Route 3, in response to your inquiry, we have completed an investigation of the subject intersection and determined that the installation of a 3-color traffic light would be appropriate. We plan to install this signal within 1 year by capital contract. Your interest in transportation safety is very much appreciated. Very truly yours, Charles E. Moynihan, Regional Director of Transportation.
Right.
Does anyone have any other correspondence or petitions?
I would like to state, though, that I'm very glad to see that we are going to get a light down there.
And that's nice.
Isn't
Finally.
it?
a
It's
long battle.
about time.
Been fighting that for about almost 2 years.
Long time.
About 20.
Well, more so, yeah.
You'll notice it said within a year, so
know.
we're going to have to wait a while for it, but even so, it is good news. Now we'll take up old business. If you remember last month, we received a letter from the County Department of Planning and Community Development with regard to the county planning board reviewing our matters of zoning. And it was tabled. They're asking us to make a resolution, pass a resolution, and we have typed up a tentative resolution, and I will read it to you, and if it meets with your approval, then maybe you would like to make a resolution. And be it resolved that the town board of the town of Granby does hereby agree to authorize the town supervisor to execute the agreement with the Oswego County Department of Planning and Community Development, which exempts certain types of actions from county planning board review if they do not have countywide or inter-community impacts.
Right, that was that thing that Jim was telling us about. I'm trying to remember how it went.
Yeah.
If you want me to, I will read the letter we received last year,
We read
or
that.
last month.
We read that at a work session. but
Yeah.
Yeah, we
should
did.
streamline the process a little bit.
Right.
Less, one more hoop we've got to jump through to get anything done.
Yeah.
I think we basically agreed on
So would someone like to make a resolution that we
Okay.
Make a motion.
it.
we have to have a resolution?
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
That's
He
it.
wants to look at
Oh, I'm sorry.
Uh,
And then there's also a form that has to be signed by the supervisor.
Yeah, that has to go back in to the county.
Yes, and then they state that they will send us copies. They have to sign that form too.
Yeah, well, the Board of Granby does hereby agree to authorize the town supervisor to execute the agreement with the Oswego County Department of Planning and Community Development, which exempts certain type of actions from county planning board review if they do not have countywide or intercommunity impacts.
Would someone second
it. I'll
that?
second it.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed, Madam Clerk. I have a letter here from John McHugh from the Congress of the United States. Honorable James Bass, Supervisor, Town of Granby. Dear James, this will follow up my previous correspondence concerning your support of the Oswego County Fair Housing Council's position that Department of Housing and Urban Development fair housing regulations for rural communities are inefficient, costly, and counterproductive. As you will recall, I did not feel the initial HUD response to my inquiry regarding this matter was adequate, and I asked them to once again review this issue. I am enclosing a copy of the self-explanatory report I have received from HUD responding to my subsequent inquiry regarding this issue. HUD has advised me that in the coming months it intends to review the ways in which the burden of planning for fair housing requirements can be lessened for smaller communities. I would be interested in your thoughts regarding these measures once they are presented. You may be assured of my continuing interest in this matter and my commitment to do all I can to ensure that HUD both understands and responds to the impact of its policies in rural areas. Now more old business. Last month there were two appointments that were tabled. One was to the Assessment Board of Review, and one was for an assessor. Would you like to discuss what, if you've come up with,
Since our last meeting, we've had Mrs. Coes, I believe, declined.
yeah, she
Withdrew
withdrew.
her
Yes,
application.
she did.
I would nominate Mr. Ferguson.
Right. You nominate him? I'll second.
For which
Motion. Assessor.
Assessor.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
Motion. Opposed? One opposed. 3 ayes. Motion carried. And then the other was the Assessment Board of
Assessment
Review.
Board of Review, Rose.
I'll make the nomination.
You gotta make the nomination, Rose.
Oh, okay, the Board of,
Now, is Mr. Ferguson here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's here.
Congratulations, Mr. Ferguson. Stand up so everybody knows you.
the grievance board, right?
Thank you.
Assessment Board of Review.
Okay,
Assessment Board of Review. or
the
grievance.
Assessment Board of Review, I make a motion for, Kathy Pluff?
Kathy Plum.
Kathy Pluff for the grievance board.
Is there a
To
second?
appoint her, yeah?
Yes, I make,
Is there a second?
No, second.
Second by... Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
One,
Abstain.
Lance
because he has
abstains.
Conflict of interest.
Kate, how do you spell her last name?
P-L-U-F-F, I believe.
Yeah.
UFF.
That's it.
Kathy Pluff isn't here tonight, I don't see her.
Bunch of twins didn't show up? We're surprised.
Motion was made and seconded, and the motion is carried.
Rose made the motion.
Did you,
Tony seconded.
this is all signed, right?
You didn't say.
Oh, okay.
No, I did that for Bob. Oh, I gotta sign the whole place.
Oh, you
Yeah,
For the fire hydrants?
Well, I did the second on it.
Oh, all right.
yeah. Did you want, is there any other old business?
Yes. One of the fire chiefs at Cody's called me one day, about, in the winter, they can't find the fire hydrants. They wanted the town to do something about marking. This is the new markers that's gonna be on all the fire hydrants in Granby. Well, it's up 48, really. Isn't it, Ray, up 48? And that's the only place for fire hydrants is,
48 south and north, both.
okay, here, these will be on like 6-foot poles on every fire hydrant wherever the fire departments need in Granby, just so they aren't buried whenever they need a fire hydrants. So, this is what Pitsley down in Cody's requested.
What's it made out of?
It's metal, they're metal, but
Reflect
these,
that.
Waterproof and all.
yeah, these will be on a 6-foot pole, so, as Ray says, sometimes the snowbanks are even that high sometimes. But hopefully we won't see that this year.
I hope not.
Who's gonna put them up, Ray?
The highway department will take care of it.
Any other old business? Well, then let's go to new business. I need a motion to advertise for the annual vacancies. The Planning Board, Zoning Board of Appeals, and the Environmental Board, we have vacancies on.
Also move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I have here a letter to the Granby Town Board dated November 12th. I would like to appoint Ruth Sheldon to the position of Deputy Town Clerk and Registrar of Vital Records. It's signed Marjorie Fuller, Granby Town Clerk. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion, and we appoint Ruth Sheldon, Deputy Town Clerk.
Someone second?
I'll second it.
Rosie second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Post carried.
When's that effective?
First of this month, I believe.
It's
Retroactive.
retroactive to the 1st of December.
Oh, December.
Ruth, would you like to stand and introduce yourself? This is our new congratulations. I have an application here for a dealer's junk license from Benjamin Stephen Woodworth. And this has been approved. I guess that's all you need to know.
Need signatures on that?
I don't think so, no. It's approved by the
Bob Anthony?
constable.
Bob Anthony has signed
Yes.
up on it.
Uh-huh.
Guess you gotta vote on it.
Does, I don't know, did the council have to vote on it?
Is that a
You
renewal?
probably have, yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
got
it has to be?
I see that, yeah.
All right.
Any complaints of any type while he's operating?
I make a motion that we approve this application for a dealer's license for Benjamin Stephen Woodard to operate
Junk.
a junk license
How long you got it?
Junkyard.
40 years?
on the Honey Hill Road. I know this place, yeah.
Full salvage?
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, is that full?
Yeah.
Oh, I-
you've been there a long time.
oh, yeah.
40 years, huh?
Okay, Tony has made a motion.
I'll
that-
second that.
And any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Pretty easy, isn't
Yeah.
Don't get worse.
I didn't know that the board had to approve those, so. Piece of cake, right? Okay, report of committees. Anyone here from the environmental board? The planning board?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, the planning board has an application for a convenience store gas stop at Route 3 and 8. Also a small grocery store, 48 and South Cranberry Road. These are the two applications we have for site plan approval before the planning board. And we have, of course, we're still working on Hoffman Heights subdivision, which is coming nicely. I'm glad the board did adopt that statement of policy from the Oswego County Planning. I think that'll help us a great deal. They can do a lot of things, and they have a lot of resources that we don't have. I also have another thing. I don't know if you people, I haven't read anything about it, and I haven't heard anything about it, but there was some talk about appointing a stenographer or another secretary to help the planning board and some of the other boards. And at our last meeting, we discussed that, and we don't really feel that we need another secretary to take our minutes or to anything such as that. I mean, there may be a need by someone else, but I don't know if you people are still considering that or not, but there was some talk, and it got back to me, but I guess Elsie and a few of the other people in the planning board said that the town board was thinking about appointing a stenographer for all the boards. We're not encouraging that. We don't really feel that we need another secretary. And I know of the some of the economies and so forth, or some of the expenses we're trying to cut down on. I really can't see hiring another person to take our minutes. But it's up to you people.
What happened there,
Yeah.
out of the blue for 94, the zoning board of appeals, your board, there's at least one or two others, all of a sudden needed stenographer service. So each chairman went ahead, or the board hired outside service, and that has contributed to extra expenses that we did not have in the 94 budget to cover that requirement. What we talked about for 95 is to possibly contract for services as each one of the boards need it. If they don't need it, then we won't use it. But it happened this year, and it cost us several $1,000s in extra money it got spent that we really didn't plan.
Well, I just thought I'd let you know how the county board feels if you want to go ahead.
Well, that's up to you.
Zoning Board of Appeals, anyone here? Steve isn't here either. Our assessors, Ray is here.
Yeah, I don't have any report. I did have one question which you answered tonight about our third assessor. I'm glad to see you appointed Mr. Ferguson. Now maybe we can have some essence of normalcy in that department. Yes, because we are running behind. I hate to say that in front of Bob here, but we are running behind and Bob left us. We missing something terribly.
Thanks, Ray.
You got the report from the
Dog control, I have it here. Number of complaints, 18. Number of dogs picked up, 2. Number of dogs destroyed or died, none. Number of dogs released, 1. Number of dogs on hand, 7. Monthly expenses, food, $39.96. Ads and toll calls, $10.49. Monthly mileage is $361. And impoundment fees, there were no impoundment fees collected. That's for the month of November. Let's see, historian, I don't have any report on that. Building and administration, Lance?
Yeah, we're presently working on the data system for the judge's office. We've got the state requirements, or what the state recommendations are. I didn't want to take any action on this until close to the first of the year because it's not until 1995 budget. But I'm going to start speccing that system out. Tony, I might be contacting you for a little assistance on this.
All right.
Because I'll be officially gone by that time, so you might bring it back to the board, but you know what we're doing anyway. That's about all I have.
All right.
Thanks, Lance. Rosie, do you have anything on the senior citizens?
Yeah, they're having their Christmas party late this year, January 2nd, because, what is that, the golf course?
Yeah, the Battle Island.
They're ordering their dinner brought to them for a Christmas party, so they're so overstocked that they're bringing their dinner January 2nd over here for a Christmas party. And then, a month or so ago, when the state cut the seniors out for $450, and I wrote to quite a few people whether there's any other funds for seniors recreation. I did hear from Fran Sullivan. Now I've got a letter from John McHugh. Dear Rose, this will acknowledge receipt of your recent correspondence concerning the Town of Granby Senior Citizens Club's interest in locating additional resources to fund its activities. I appreciated the opportunity to review the club's 1993 slate of activities and am impressed at the many initiatives they pursue. I will be pleased to explore possible avenues of federal assistance for the club, but it would facilitate my efforts if I could be provided with a list of those activities and or needs they find most pressing and requiring assistance. This will enable me to better determine what, if any, programs are available to assist them. I shall wait your response. You may be assured of my continuing interest in the Granby Senior Citizens Club. Sincerely, John M. McHugh. And I got together with Fern Anthony, and she gave me the record of everything they did this past year and what it cost the seniors to do all this, and I forwarded it, and hopefully we'll get some help for the seniors to enjoy themselves. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Rose.
Okay.
Ray, Highway Superintendent?
I have nothing except for following and sanding if we feel necessary, trying to keep the equipment going, that's about it.
Again, you
There's nothing,
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed youth and rec.
nothing right now, nothing
The,
going on.
the program is finished, isn't it?
Yes,
Mhm.
it was a success too. It was good.
Do we got a bill on that yet?
Yeah, I brought it in. I think Kathy took care of it.
Okay, I'll get it on this one.
We signed it today.
Oh, yeah?
The YMCA?
Yeah.
Yeah, was in there today.
Well, I didn't sign that package.
Yeah, that was right.
It was in there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's in this month's,
Yeah,
uh,
paid for it.
budget officer.
We got a little work to do. Shift some from here to there. Put some more back again. You're right.
You want
You wanna give me one? You wanna give me one?
Vince didn't get one.
I don't have an extra.
Oh, you have it?
All right,
I
here.
even shared it.
Here.
That's all right, we got
I
it.
can look at it tomorrow.
All right.
All right, these are statement of balances as of the other night, December the 8th. Again, I'll cover contractual from the general and highway fund. The personal services is going to come down to zero as monthly payrolls. And I'll only go through those contractual items that I feel I be commenting on as far as the general fund is concerned. The attorney is at zero as of last month, and we'll have to make a transfer to cover any billing received from him for our last month and for this month.
Do we have any outstanding bills on that?
I have no idea. You're the one that, I don't even know what I got posted from November's abstract.
We signed the bill today.
Well, then we'll transfer it at the end of the month. The contingent fund is out, and what's driven that is
We signed it.
we've overrun medical by close to $3,600 or $3,700, which is what I've told the board about. Well, now we're into it, so we'll make a transfer to cover last month's billing, and we'll need another one to cover this month's billing as far as general medical is concerned. Let's see, constable, his contractual is at zero, and, okay, let's see, that's all I have. As far as general is concerned, other than, okay, state retirement, and I'll get into this in a minute here. We're going to have to appropriate some additional funding to cover the bill received from the state retirement from both general and highway, and I'll give you a resolution on that. Again, on sheet 3 and medical insurance general, that account went to zero as of last month. The bond indebtedness we had in general, that was paid back in October for the reval, so that account sits at zero. On highway, machinery is down to $7,200. That should be enough to cover us between now and the end of the year contractual. Let's see, in highway again, state retirement, we're going to have to make a transfer there to cover that. Medical and highway is, I have a surplus there, so we don't have to worry about that. As far as the districts are concerned, their bills are basically all paid. Metropolitan Water Board is paid. All indebtedness for Water South and Sewer North is all paid. And the last item is capital projects. That $5,000 is still sitting there, which is all the money we have left over from the 10 that we borrowed to help bring to fruition the Hannibal Street Water District. The 95 budget was typed, copied, and there are copies available in the town office. The copies have been submitted to the county for processing and development of the tax rates and the bills that we'll receive in January. Due to work on my part and working with Jim, we at the last minute were able to create a reduction from last year's general and highway rate by over 15 cents. I had originally told you a nickel, but Jim and I worked at this the other day right up to the last minute. And so this year's tentative rate for general is about 80, if you want to put decimals here, it's .8281, 82 cents and something, and highways rate would be $2.6683. That's a total of $3.4964, or 3.64. I carried out 4 decimal places,
649.
which is .15 or .1563 less than it was last year. So,
Sad.
Right, at least it's not
I didn't
going
get
up.
what he said,
no,
260.
well, highway's going up for a reason, but general came down. We also received additional or in excess of mortgage tax funds, which is good news, and Jim and I decided to use some of that money to reduce the rate. Let's see, need a resolution to transfer from contingent A 1990.4 to the 3 accounts that I've listed there that was due to activity of last month.
Bob, can I ask, why did the retirement money run out?
I'll go through that.
We'll take care of this transfer first. Would someone like to make a motion that we transfer?
I'll make
Read it.
I make a motion, we transfer from contingent account for historian, 2657, attorney, $312, and hospital medical insurances, $1,243.64. It comes to $1,582.21.
I'm looking for the word contingency on that.
Would someone second that motion?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I didn't think we had that much money in there.
Opposed? So carried, Madam Clerk.
We, Bob, we ran short on that.
Yeah, now getting back to state retirement. Again, I worked up the numbers for the 94 budget for both general share of state retirement and highways share of state retirement based on phone conversations I had with people in state retirement office last fall when we did the budget. And basically they told me they expected the billing would be roughly what it was the year before. And so that's what I appropriated. And we had out of general, their share was going to be $3,000, and highway share would be $18,000, which adds up to about $21,000, which is what it was the year before. Well, lo and behold, this fall, we get a letter, and that normally comes at the time we're starting to do the new budget, and they gave us the real number for the new bill, which has been paid. And what I talked to Jim about this, and we felt that we're going to have to pay it because the town is enrolled in the state highway system, and so therefore we've got to increase the funding we had from general. We decided I need a resolution to transfer from excess revenues the amount of $2,000 in the general fund to cover that overage. That means the general is now paid $5,000, and from the highway fund, $3,505, which covers the difference in the balance that we have now sent to the state.
Where are we transferring these from?
Okay, there is a policy in the audit and control and in municipal finance which says basically that if the town fund receives excess money from what was originally estimated in the current budget, okay, for instance, say I estimated we were going to get $20,000 in mortgage tax and we ended up with 40, okay, then the town board can appropriate from that excess monies received to cover additional expenses during the year that they have to meet. You cannot allow an account to go negative, okay?
that one.
And right now, we gotta cover ourselves.
So do we transfer that into contingency first and then?
No,
or
just
directly
transfer, transfer from excess revenue received. So I need a
I
resolution.
don't know what account number is that on excess?
No,
Well,
it's no
it's not an
account
account.
number. It's simply excess cash that we received.
And where are you gonna put it in the
I'm gonna
contingency
put
account?
$2,000 in addition to the three that I have in state, or in state retirement.
Oh.
So that would run that total appropriation up to 5. And I'm gonna add 3505 to highway share, which runs that total appropriation up to 21,505.
Okay, state retirement for
Since they're
general,
state
3,000.
Right.
Yeah, so you need a
And-
motion.
You need 3,000 for,
I need a motion to appropriate from excess revenues received the sum of $2,000 from the general fund to be added to the appropriation for state retirement. And if you can, you go along to appropriate from excess revenues received from the highway fund the sum of 3505 to be added to the appropriated amount of highway state retirement.
I'm trying to word this.
I'm trying to be simple.
Some things just
Well,
aren't simple.
I'll move that we, now correct me if I trip over myself here. I move that we transfer from excess funds $2,000
In the general
into the
fund,
general funds. And
That'll make that 5,000.
3505.
3505 into highway state retirement funds.
Right,
And that should click it, right?
right.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
Bob, can I ask your question?
He's getting it on.
Since we're computerized and so sophisticated here now, do we have a running balance of how much money we have in our treasury at all times?
Yeah, Kathy has this almost daily.
They can tell you exactly how much.
Cash in the bank, cash, they have, say, 5 accounts, okay? But then you gotta remember, I mean, that's funds, I'm sorry, funds. Water South Fund, Water North Fund, Sewer North Fund, General Fund, Highway Fund, and Willow Bob Lighting. Actually, you got 6.
6.
Each one of those is in a separate account. But then depending on what Jim and Kathy decide to do, if they got some surplus of this, they may stick some of that in a CD. They also may stick some of that into a savings account. Okay? If you want to earn interest, you got a checking account doesn't earn you a penny as far as municipal financing is concerned, but you can stick it in a savings account. You can also stick X amount of dollars in a CD. It isn't until we close out at the end of the year, when all revenues received, all expenses are paid, now we add up how much cash have we got left over. That's called unexpended balance. That's what
In
I
other
do for
words,
the annual report.
It's not a running balance?
We're not required to keep that.
Well, it doesn't matter whether you're required.
We
Wouldn't
talk
it be nice
cash
to know?
balance. You're talking to cash
Yeah,
balance.
wouldn't it be nice to know?
Drop in, and I'm sure Kathy can tell you.
It's on there. It's on the expenditure side. It is. She's got that log right into those abstracts
Yeah.
on the program in there.
But that's all based against the budget.
Yeah.
Budget's not cash. It's not the way we run the business, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay?
It would seem, though, that it'd be nice to know exactly where you stand every...
You gotta remember, General is carrying like 50 separate accounts.
We can't have like a checking
Okay.
account, that's unfortunate.
And Highway's carrying, say, 10. Budget items,
Yeah.
okay?
But with the computer, isn't the, they claim that,
Oh, yeah.
you know, everything is simple with a computer.
Well, doesn't,
That's what everybody
Well,
says.
Just,
The system we're building up for,
Yeah.
to do the main office system, that system will do it, but we won't have that online for 2 more years.
Oh.
But yeah, that system will do it. The one we have right now won't.
See, I don't care about cash. I care about what I know gets expended against each account. We're carrying 50 or 70 accounts, and I care what revenue we get in. And that's what I do all during the year. I don't care what money we have left over until we get toward the end of the year. Now, I forecast all that going into budget. That's what I've done for this town for 22 years. And I'm the only one that has all of those numbers, and they come right out of that book there.
And don't forget the magic envelope.
Well, yes, we have the magic envelope.
Now, let me ask you this.
Well, that's a contingency.
We were short on health insurance funds too?
Right, we did not appropriate enough, right.
Did
But
what-
until we ran out of money, and this is the way state wants it, until you ran out of money, you don't do anything.
Well, we had an increase too, that was the reason. Did you have an increase during the year in the insurance?
Yeah, the first or second bill we got
Right.
in, I projected times 12, and I could see where I told you, we're
Right,
gonna
we
go over on
discussed
that
this
account by
before,
about
right.
3,800 bucks.
Yeah.
I told you that several months ago.
Right.
Well, now we're out. But we have the cash, but now we gotta come back and make the book work straight.
We got a motion on the table.
Does that take
Oh, I
care
thought
of
she
it?
seconded it. Didn't you second it?
It's been, a motion's been made and seconded,
And we've been talking,
and
so I guess.
I asked if there was any discussion, and we had a discussion.
Yeah.
Now can we take a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next thing deals with Water North. We appropriated in the 94 budget almost close to $5,900 to cover purchase and installation of X number of hydrants, 4 or whatever the number was. And nothing has been done all these months until apparently recently.
Today, it started today, Bob.
Okay, I understand you've purchased the hydrants, okay? But now, what about getting them installed? I assume.
They started today.
Jim has said that Fulton's gonna do it.
Cities.
Today, I see them out working on it.
Okay, my question to you is, and I haven't talked to Jim, I was gonna do that tonight. Will we receive the bill for all of this, both labor and materials, before the end of the month?
No, I doubt it.
Okay,
doubt it.
then we need to encumber, which means we need to pass a resolution to encumber, and we have right now 5,900 bucks in
Well, we're gonna
Water
meet,
North,
we're gonna meet on the 28th,
29.
29.
and we might have more information by then. If we don't have
It's up to you.
it, why don't we, I'd rather see us table that until that point in time. That way we'll have more information from
I
the city.
think so.
And if
Yeah.
they're working on it
Yeah.
now,
See,
it's
if
possible
we
it
encumber,
might be done.
let's say we don't pay the material, we don't pay the labor, fine, we simply encumber 5,900 bucks, which is what is
Yeah.
sitting in a bank account right now. What that does, that ups the appropriation for next year. When the bills come in, we now can legally pay them.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you legally can't pay them because the money's not appropriated.
But I'd hate to encumber it over and then
Well, you may have to.
them come this year.
Okay,
I mean,
no problem.
let's.
We should know by the
something we can
29th.
do on
I
the
think,
29th. We'll have more information.
We're supposed to
I
close
think
the book.
they do one a day. From what I could see, they almost had that one done that they started today.
But if we push through the billing, if we can call the city and have them bill us now, we won't have to encumber that and raise the tax levy.
Well, no,
for
we're
next-
not gonna raise any tax. So we already raised it.
Oh, okay,
last
okay, you're
January.
taking funds, okay,
You're
I
gonna keep
understand
them.
now.
So you can't legally spend something unless it's appropriated.
It'd be better if we paid it.
31st, all 94 appropriations stop.
collect a little more interest on it, Lance. But later.
No, that's.
So all you're doing is carrying over the appropriation.
You're right.
That's all you're doing.
It's a,
Fine,
I'm happy
29.
with
Just put it on the agenda. Make sure you remember to put it on.
Forget. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Well, we have to pay the town bills, so I'll have to have a motion. You can combine the general and the highway bills if you like. The general bills amount to $9,785.05. And the highway is $5,696.51. Would someone make a motion to pay the bills?
I make a motion, we pay both the general and the highway bills. You want me to repeat the amount?
I don't need to hear it, I got it right in front of me.
Okay.
Would someone
I'll
second that
second it.
motion?
I'll second it, Mrs. Full.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So carried, Madam Clerk. The date of our next meeting will be December 29th at 7:30. That meeting is to close out any outstanding business for the year 1994. And so I believe now we can open the floor to the public. Is there anyone who would like to say something, Bob?
Yeah, first of all, okay, I'd like to say, as a taxpayer from the town of Granby, nice job reducing the rate by 15.5 cents. It's something. I'd rather see it going down than up. And you're right. But as a taxpayer, thank you for myself. Did you, earlier, did you say what the new equalization rate for the town of Granby was?
Bob did, didn't
No, I didn't read it. I think it's 1.06.
you? You had the text.
I said you could come up and look at it if you,
Okay.
was that new or old? That was communications?
Yeah. See.
Yeah, there's a third letter down.
Third one down.
Fourth letter, I'm sorry.
Yeah. here it
Right
is.
there.
Town of Granby, the 1994 state equalization, that says tentative though, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The percentage change in municipal full value is 1.06. Does that mean anything to you?
Keep
Well, it was 94, I think, last year, wasn't it? So that means
It was 94.43. Oh, now the tentative for 1994 was 93.86. But that letter said that this was the,
Okay, that's good.
oh, it contains a tentative 19. Yeah,
Let's see
okay.
that again, Kay, before you fold it back up. Why, it's some-
Does that answer your question, Bob?
The other thing, Kathy, Kate, was on the Board of Assessment Review, wasn't there 2 openings?
Yeah.
But you only approved one tonight.
No,
Oh, that,
one opening. You mean the grievance board?
No, the Board of
No.
Assessment Review.
who was the other, that's
What's his
right.
name? Appointed.
That's right, there were 2 appointments. Boy, you're sharp, Bob.
I knew that too.
Well, you're sharp too, Ray.
Bob Cook.
That's right, there were 2.
Bob Cook.
Yes,
We reappointed him,
We
so-
reappointed Bob Cook.
but you already did that? I don't think it wasn't
I don't think
voted
we did it
on.
officially.
No, we didn't do
No,
it,
that's
Lance.
right, because it was, tabled from last.
Mhm.
So we,
I would
Need-
move that we renominate Bob Cook to that position.
I second.
Yep.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you, Bob, for being on your toes.
One more
Did
question.
you miss them?
Now that, when he said that, I remembered, but,
That's what Bob's trying to find out.
The,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Bob can tell me, so do you know how many people are currently under the town's medical insurance?
That's what we're supposed to.
Kathy would have.
Yeah, close to it.
No, I don't.
You don't know?
Kathy would know.
Okay. Check with Kathy. And last question, on the Earl Hoffman development, how is that being identified in the town? Is that a building group, a mobile home park, subdevelopment,
subdivision.
subdivision? Is the planning board?
Yes.
Here's the planning board, it's really nice.
So that falls under all of the,
He's gone through, the site plan approval, planning board.
that's an acre per,
Well, I agree, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Is there anyone else like to make any comments?
No
Yep.
other comments?
I have a question.
All right.
When does Mr. Ferguson start?
Immediately.
Tomorrow, no?
Well, whatever, I hope, whatever,
No, has that been decided yet, or?
his appointment's effective.
As
yeah.
of today, he's,
As of today, I would assume, yeah.
I'll see you after.
It's up to you.
isn't it, Lance?
It's up to you.
Immediately, right?
Immediately.
Yeah,
Because it was a vacancy, the funds are there to
yeah,
pay him.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's an immediate appointment, yeah.
Right.
Is there anyone else? Mr.
Yes, my
Pomeroy?
name is David Pomeroy, I'm a taxpayer in the town of Granby. Country Acres Mobile Home Park, they were going to make application for a special use permit. Has that been received by the town yet?
I'm going to let Wally handle that one. I think you're still working on it, aren't you, Wally?
I think they've applied, I think.
I'm pretty sure they have, but I thought you might
I
know.
think Jim said they
I
applied
got
last
a
night, I thought.
Copy of a letter from Dennis Swanberg.
Uh-huh. And it's still, you're working on it, are you not?
Well, no, the zoning board will work on it, and if they have any questions, they'll talk to me.
Oh, so at the present time, it's,
So it's in the hand, if the application is in front of the zoning board, then they'll
and they're
take it from there.
processing.
Do you know what date that was received by the town by any chance?
It would have been stamped by the town when it was received.
Thank you.
That, I would have that information in the file, probably.
Okay, thank
You
you.
know, if you wanted to check back, I could look it up for you.
Thank you.
All right? Anyone else have anything to say? If not, then I think we can adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that.
I won't ask for a discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I want to show this to Bob.